And we're live. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's
Welcome to
up?
Back Alley Phins, where you are backstage. That's literally it. That's all I got for the intro.
That's
Sub Nene, what's up? You can't handle I can't deal with this name.
Hello, and that name is something else, but hello.
I can't listen, guys. This is just a special video we're doing for our members. This is something that you can be looking into if you do become a member. It's gonna be exclusive where you guys get to go and see what kind of what we talk about backstage because it is Dolphins related. Sometimes we go on a tangent, but it don't even matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. Yeah, I can't handle your name. This is ridiculous. You always gotta come up with these ridiculous names, Phinsanity. Why?
why? Because I feel like it's entertaining and adds another element to me and my personality. I like to be creative, whimsical, funny, but positive. I think it's a great, culture reference, right? You can't handle the truth, and some of you can't handle the Tua. And hey, it's the truth about him. He's our franchise quarterback. So some of y'all
Is
can't
that
handle
really what
that.
we're doing? That's what
Yes,
you
yes.
can't handle the truth?
Some people
Really?
can't handle the fact that he's our quarterback. And if you're going to be a fan of this team, you have to understand that that entails that Tua is your quarterback. So some of you can't handle the
Oh
Tua. It's
heck
the first
no.
one. I gotta come and blaze
Don't
it.
give
It's
me
the
that
first
lame
one.
politically correct crap. Get out of here. I know that's not what you were saying 5 minutes ago, ma'am.
Listen, you weren't recording 5 minutes ago, but listen, Linda, listen. I am all here for anyone's options if they want a different quarterback or whatever, but make it make sense to me. Explain to me how it's going to happen, and then we can have a conversation. But as of
Really?
right now, I can't. And it's okay going into this game. Really? How are you gonna hit me with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with that. You've been ridiculous with your blah blah blah. And I feel like this sucker just started recording and we missed like a good 2 minutes, but whatever. Anyways, if y'all coming in, sup, this backstage, back alley fans, got Nene. She don't know her name, and then Miss Phins. Uh, yeah, no, I can't.
Can
But
I say
Nene,
something about this whole, what Phinsanity is doing? I, I just it goes back to the I got receipts thing that I got a problem with.
He
I
has
just
what,
say
receipts.
if
He
we
does
what,
not
can't
have them.
handle the
what,
tour, then he can't
what?
handle the moment in big games. So
Oh, listen.
we gotta I know I have my very politically correct moments, but I come from 103rd Street, 17th Avenue in Miami-Dade
Bro,
County,
you don't gotta say all that. Jesus.
and we come from a truth narrative, right? So if we can't handle the tour, it's because he can't handle the big moments in games, and hopefully he does it on this particular game that was getting ready to go. And then I love when people prove me wrong, especially when it's my Miami Dolphins getting a dub.
Okay, we sound way too, I don't know, this not real. So now can we talk about what we really want to talk about?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We were
Thank
doing
you for sending
intros.
it. Now tell me the truth and stop lying to these people.
What would you like? What would you like to hear my take
Girl,
on?
you was
I was
handling
one.
in oh God, what the
Come on,
oh.
discounts. I'm giving out discounts. I'm giving out discounts for the backtracking that I'm going to do.
I'm about to say, bro, if you don't, girl, get the heck out of here.
Listen. As I've said, I've been on this blue pill mentality with our team, and I've been trying to stay as positive going into this game. But red pill. If some people are going to force me to take it, yes, Tua has had moments of brilliance, and yes, as of late, and the opportunities to one, win the division for us, um, show up in a big Baltimore game. He has come up, just a tiny bit short. But I will say this, right? Like I said, it's going to be hard to say that the last three quarterbacks that we have faced have been the best quarterbacks in the AFC. And I mean, if we want to put Tua in that conversation, he needs to get some wins, especially in the postseason. And why not start off by trying to beat, the head of the snake, the head honcho, the best quarterback in the league right now, and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, we're gonna. This is how we're gonna do this, man. You're really not even. Whatever, people. I'm gonna tell you the truth, even though she don't want to. I'm exposing you.
You're not getting me excommunicated.
Yeah, and
you're,
what
you're not
the
getting
whole
me
point of the show?
excommunicated from the.
That's the whole point of doing it. Like,
The whole point of this is to get me excommunicated. Have
no,
have I
it's
been one?
real talk. That's why it's
Have
called
I?
back
No.
and
How is that not real?
backstage.
Have I not been? Have I not been real? Am I 100% happy with what I've seen? No.
Tua ain't the guy. Just
But
say it.
but
'Cause that's
what?
what
Oh
you just
no,
said.
no, no. Because before this, I was saying how I'm liking his fundamentals, his base. Did I not say those things? His mechanics, they're all getting better. The fluidity in his hips, the power that he's throwing with, the way that he's able to zip those balls into double coverage, and even in the middle of the field. Did I not say those things? See, you want me to come on here. You know what? Where is Pam? Where is the Big Spoon Award? I think we need a new recipient or a co-recipient of the Big Spoon Award, because you were out here trying to stir the pot, get me excommunicated, and next thing you know, you're not gonna hear from me. Listen, Dave.
I
I'm
can't.
trying to be as partial
That's
as
not the
possible.
whole. But you can do that in a regular show.
No.
No,
What do you want? What do you want me to say? What would you like for me to say?
nothing. Apparently, nothing because you're not gonna say it anyway. So don't say nothing. Nay, nay,
Okay, so
ma'am.
how do y'all feel about two? How do you know, Miss Phins? How do you feel about two? Because you want to try to
I
put this on me.
saw the
No.
world. I got a whole parental guidance show. It really wasn't bad, people. It was just a joke. But I thought it'd be very, maybe stir a little pot by having the parental guidance. But I told people the truth. It is what it is. He needs to step up. Period. If not, he's not the franchise quarterback. I already said this. But Nene, and let me talk to a real person here because I know you're not gonna hold back like some receipts over here. So talk to us about what you wanted to say about this whole what was it? Space and Twitter. What happened in that space?
Well, I didn't really, I wasn't in there. I had an appointment, but it is the mentality of the fan base. This is where I do agree with Phinsanity. We're so, and if you're listening, don't take this the wrong way, but we're so emotional. Like when we win, we're believing in this. When we
It's cool
lose,
fashion, okay?
we want to get everybody out of town. And you know who I blame? I blame the organization for improper marketing of what we have. When you go to a restaurant and you see a menu and they have a rating, right? You expect a certain product. You do. And it's just, the organization to me, after thinking about our conversations on this team, has a big part of why we go at each other on spaces and just in general a difference of opinion, because they sold us something without being honest to the consumer as to what you have. I rather, if this is a wait and see, if this is a developmental, because those are the new words that are being used to describe where we are, is developmental. And Tua needs time to learn how to be clutch, and Mike McDaniel needs time to know how to call the right plays in the right moment. Then don't sell me win now. Don't sell me 3-year window and we're at year 2.5. Now we're into the next part of that obligation, and now you're gonna pull back and change what I purchased, right? When I say purchase, I think about all the season ticket holders. I don't live in Miami, haven't lived in Miami since I was 18. I joined the military and I've been all over the world, and I decided to retire somewhere that was not Miami. So, I know I spend my money online for certain, merch, and I definitely try to support people within the community. But I think about these
Some,
fans that
some.
that that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars, that the work that's being done in these tailgates, even platforms like this is not free. So, and
Yeah.
it's all on the consensus that this team was now ready. And and being from Miami-Dade County, the city is waiting, right? The Miami
Mhm.
Heat just went to the NBA Finals. The Florida Panthers just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You
And the
know,
Stanley Cup Finals.
so those are criterias, right? When you market a product, and maybe it is the pressure of the other teams within the city that we went out there and got these big names that we know, these household names that make us comfortable that everything has changed in a micro minute, and that's why when people complain about the fans, no, blame the organization for selling you this, right? If we were a little bit honest, now granted, I know there's going to be a person that comment and be like, "Nay, what about the injuries?" I got it. I understand. I understand as a rational-minded person that has to be added into this gumbo of what they're selling me. But let's be honest, we're not the only team dealing with injuries, right? Like
Mhm.
the majority of the AFC in whole quarterbacks went down for the season. So, and you got other key players within the sport, right, that went down. So I understand injuries, but to me, it's the concept of what's the identity of the Miami Dolphins, right? Are we a I feel we're more finesse, right? We have moments where we're physical, but I just think that this is all on the organ, and it kind of makes me mad because it's sad, right? If I wasn't a Miami Dolphin fan and I go in these spaces and I go on YouTube and I see how people fight, I would just say that's an uncouth, or fan base, right? Why are they so at each other? But when you have a expectation of steak and crab legs, and you come out there with a hamburger with a slice of bacon, that ain't the same. I mean, it's food, right? And I was a chef for 21 years, so I could go in this realm. It's food, but it's not what I paid for. So you're gonna have people that are very passionate of, especially the narratives, because once December happened, right, everybody started bracing for it. Here comes another December collapse. Here's another, and then we won a game, and that's where they got me. I'll be honest, they got me. They beat Washington, right? They won a game, and I was like, okay, we finally got over this thing, right? And then
So it was two straight.
and then we go into the Tennessee game, right? And I just think I'll say Rick Ross, but Stephen Ross, yeah, while you're raising tickets, you may want to give a refund for that Tennessee game, because to me that's where everything essentially changed. Now, don't get me wrong, the game as we're recording hasn't been played, so they haven't won or lost against Kansas City. But at this moment, that particular game changed the whole dynamic of a lot of the fans and the direction of the team. Because if you think of it, if everything remains true, right? We beat the Cowboys in the following week. We have the number 2 seed, right? We don't have
Yep,
to be
right
worrying
now.
about the we won't have to be worrying about the weather in Kansas City, because we will be playing hosting in Miami-Dade County. So I just I try to be objective, and I had an appointment today in North Carolina. They have these scenic areas where it's just this beautiful trees and water, and I had time to like process my thoughts. And I was like, we're all yelling and screaming, 219, and people that don't like Tua, and people that just love the logo, or fans that love everything about this team. But we've gone through the PTSD of all of the changes to this team. I think we have to start putting it square on what we were given during the training camp and the marketing of this team. Now, one would say is what every team goal is the Super Bowl, right? I
Mm-hmm.
get that. That makes common sense, but let's be honest. There's only two teams that play and only one winner. And there's certain teams you kind of know even though it's open the field and we still have games to play, you kind of know that this team just isn't ready right now, right? And it hurts me, especially, and I've got into it about some of the Tua fans and how they process and think about the team. I don't have a problem with Tua fans, but the ones that are not Dolphin fans and they're just strictly a fan of him, or those that just came from Alabama and don't know nothing about the organization and our history, those are the ones I'm kind of like I have my issue with because they seem not to be as logical as those who
Yeah, because
love
they
to.
don't know the pain. They don't know the 20 plus years, you know what I mean? Or the 600 years like you. They don't
Yeah,
know what that
Can
pain
I
is like.
can I say
I
something tough?
but to me, and I know I'm flying my frequent miles, but I
I wasn't
just
going to say, I'm like, my God, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Miss Finn's Air.
I
Brought to
just
you
I'm very
on Flight Entertainment. We have Nene.
I'm very
It's
passionate about this
entertaining.
team. I love this team, and I just think the way I process, I don't like blaming people that are not really responsible for the problem. And
You know who's
I
responsible?
I think it's just
Samoan assassin.
I think it's a culture problem. Like I'm a Miami Heat fan, and they're the kind of team, right? They don't need big names and all of this to come here. Like we missed on Damian Lillard, right? And we still can function. Like there's a system in place. There's a this organization is not organized. If I can
Yeah.
learn that. They're not
No,
organized.
Go
And
ahead,
it
Phинsanity.
no, but
Sorry,
that's
Nene.
what I've been saying. Why I want some continuity, but also to these fans out here crying about, oh, I'm a season ticket holder and I buy. Ain't nobody tell you to spend your money on it. You did because you thought it was worth it. Okay. At the end of the day, no one said you had to be at every single game. No one said you had to spend thousands of dollars on this team. No one said you had to go on Fanatics or NFL Shop. You chose to. You wanted to spend your money on it. So stop crying about it. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you because you chose to do that.
I
You
disagree. I disagree.
why? Why?
Because if you go and buy a product, right,
Mm-hmm.
you expect, just like in big business, they have a big thing on return on investment, ROI. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot get mad at fans if they were marketed a fraudulent product. How are you gonna
That
Okay,
get
is
hold
mad
up,
at
true.
hold
me?
up,
That
hold
is
up, hold
true,
up,
though.
hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. We ain't gonna skate over that one.
That's
What have we
right.
been? What have we been for the last 23 years? Oh, I'll wait. So let
Mediocre. Middle of the
let
road.
listen, what were we all praying wouldn't happen in December? Because we know our history. I don't care if they out here trying to sell me two of bath salts. I'm not buying it because I don't need two of bath salts. You are choosing to do this because you like the team and
Right,
they're
but
setting the
that
value at what's in it. But you know what your team is. Stop pretending like you don't
hold
know
on.
who we are.
Hold
Come
on.
on.
That's where I think we meet differently. But I'll let you continue to
People
roll.
were worried about us being able to beat the Chargers. Let's be honest. Like let's go back before the 70-point output. People were like trying to figure out, are we going to be good enough to beat the Chargers? We go out there and we figure out a way to win, right? So
Yeah.
let's not act like everything has been rose and petals with this team. Let's not act like they're telling us, oh, we're going to be going and we're going to win the Super Bowl. Every team says that. Every market, this is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you buy. But if you sit there objectively and realize what your team has been giving you, maybe you say, prove it to me first instead of leaping on faith.
Now, for me personally,
That's how you get snake oil. That's how you get snake oil. That's all I'm saying.
I understand that concept. However, there is responsibility and accountability for what you pitch. And to be fair, when you're going into week 4 and the questions are being asked, hey, why is this player resting? Why is this person on the IR when they could have probably healed in a couple of weeks and came and played? And your head coach, one of the parts of the venom of the snake, I don't think he's the head, and we'll probably get into that another time. When he says something, says, I'm preparing this team for February, that's coming from your head coach. I'm not gonna sit out here and crucify a fan who, when you
What
when
is
you
he
look at the
supposed to
head
say?
coach, you have to look at that position as
What is
someone
he
that's
supposed to say,
reputable.
Nay?
Hold on, you gotta let me get to it because It's not
No,
fair. It's
because
not
no,
fair.
because to me it's like, what do you expect him to like? What do you expect him to say?
Well,
Oh,
I-
we're
that
just trying to get ready for next year.
no.
No,
Well, we could do what was
teams
actually
teams make
important.
money off of hopium.
Ho-
Listen, when I stepped back and I looked at this team for what it was, because I was a season ticket holder. I said, why am I wasting my money? Why am I driving hours down or flying all this time, hotel stay, having to pay for parking and all this, and they're not winning? So at some point, you have to say either one, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I don't care about the money because they've shown me what it's going to be for the last 23 years, and until they show me something different, I'm not going to invest in them. Or you blue pill it or red pill it and say, you know what, hey, it is what it is.
no,
But to
hold on.
say
But let me.
marketing is meant to make you buy, that is what they're
Right, right.
supposed
I
to
get
do.
that. But at
So
that,
don't fault them. That's when people
that's why
spending their
people
money.
get sued for false advertisement. Let me get to my point on.
What did they advertise?
Hold on.
Is there
Let
one
me
commercial
get you
saying
to
we go
that
to the
point
Super
about
Bowl?
the coach. Right? You brought up a
Okay.
question, and I want to answer it directly. You said, "Well, what is he supposed to say?" They were talking about a particular game, a particular week, and he sped off the February. So instead of saying February, coach, let's talk about that week you were in. That's where I'm going with the passive aggressiveness of this organization and team and what they sold to the fans. Because I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Because we went into spaces and we were debating. I forget who it was. I want to say it was Achan or A Chain. I mess up his name all the time. And
Hey,
we were like, why is he on the IR, right? Because it was at the point where he was on pace, even though his numbers are still great, but he was on pace to do some other things. And it was like 4 weeks. What's wrong with him that he's out for 4 weeks? And the response from the coach was like he is managing his players to be prepared for February. And I'm like, okay, that's a bold statement, coach, because you could have asked. That was a very softball question that you didn't have to take into 2024 when at the time we was at 2023. I just think we cannot blame the fans because you've been told something that Tua, if healthy, right? When we lost to Buffalo, right? Everybody trashed Skylar Thompson, even though Tyreek had drop balls then, Waddle had drop balls then, and it wasn't as heightened as it is now because it's somebody that people idolize and love, Tua. But that's a conversation for another day. But we were told this team, if he stays upright, then we have a chance. And what's different, sis? I'm glad you said what's different. You know how many records we broke this year? You know the last time we was a 11 win team. So there was a responsibility from the organization because they was showing us something different, right? We ain't never see no 70 points, right? We ain't never see 11 wins since 1990. You ain't never see some of these
Can I
passing
just ask one
stats
question? Can I
and
just ask one question?
touchdowns since Ricky Williams and all of these other teams, right? So it's not like they were following the same mantra
Can
where
I ask one question?
I got you, but I'm trying to get you to what was different because they were selling you throughout the season that this
When
team improved, right?
when
They
did
so you cannot
uh,
get mad at the fans, not at
when
all.
when did anyone in the organization say that if Tua is healthy, we are going to win games?
I think I won't say.
That came from the fan base.
Well,
That
let
came
me
from the
help you
fan
out.
base. That's
It
the
came
narrative
from
from the fan
the
base.
Miami media, your Big O's, your Omars, your
Mhm.
Joe Shads, and all of these other
Okay.
these knuckleheads, and people drink the Kool-Aid because they look at them as experts. They give you
Okay.
all
Quick
of these
question.
numbers, they give you all of this film,
Uh
and
huh.
and I hate using this word because I feel I am a casual, but I don't think it's derogatory, right? People use that word casual like you're just scum. But to
Yeah.
a casual fan, when I listen, because it used to be a time when reporting had integrity, right? You can believe when a sports beat writer wrote something because they had journalistic integrity, but that's a conversation for another day as well. So there's a lot of fans that junk their juice of if Tua stayed upright, we would have beat Buffalo It's because Scholar is trash, right? You know.
Speculation,
No,
speculation.
no, he's not.
That's
No,
speculation.
but
But
that's what
hold
people
up.
were saying, Miss Fins,
But
and you
people
know
people
that.
can say anything but the game has to be played, right? Tua didn't play that game, so we don't know. That's all speculatory. I think what they were saying is that Tua, out of all the QBs in our room right now, give us the best chance to win games week in and week out. Are we going to win them all? Absolutely not. Like we kind of all know that one undefeated team, like I said earlier. But when Tua's on the field, you do kind of get a sense that he gives you the best chance out of everyone that was in the QB room, whether it was last year and this year. That's
Now
all. I
wait a
think that
minute.
was that.
You were lied to. I like that headline too, because that's true. Yeah, because that goes into my point. Why is Tua labeled that? Because we keep getting people that we know he can beat. Because when you had Ryan
Labeled
Fitzgerald,
what? Labeled what? What is
oh,
he
you went
labeled?
the Ryan Fitzpatrick's. I remember people cried about that because they said, "Oh, you can't bring in somebody like that. It's gonna affect Tua's confidence."
I
Right?
remember that. Dang. I
What
remember
it
people saying
affects
that.
his confidence. We can't get nobody that he can actually compete with because it's gonna affect his confidence. That's one of the reasons. If that's true, room and listeners, that is horse crap, and that's why they ain't gone nowhere. Because in any sport, you want to have competition all the time.
Yeah,
Because
you need competition.
if that person goes down, then you shouldn't be ending your season. You should have somebody else that could come in and grab. I used to play a lot of Sega Genesis back in the day. I'm showing my age.
Hey, that's my console, man.
Yeah, so I was a lot of Sonic and Mortal Kombat 1 before all this other stuff started having all
Thank
this.
you. Road
So when
rage
you
for
lost
me.
the game, they had this saying, pass the sticks or pass the joysticks, right? And it's like if you don't have nobody to compete with mentally, you can have an arrogance that no matter what I do, no matter how I perform, there is nobody else that can take my job. And that affects winning. So that's another thing that I'm putting the blame where it deserves. You have an organization that has given, and I think Tua is a great person. And I'm of Christian faith too. So I love that he professes his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Not everybody believes that, and some people don't say that live on national TV anymore. So I respect them for that. But in the same magnitude, if we have to have the perfect offensive line, the perfect coach, the perfect wide receivers. Man, you cannot treat the Miami Dolphins like Alabama when he was a member of their team, man.
Who?
It's
Ella who?
I'm just
That sound like that's oh my gosh. Like when
I'm just
people say these things, I'm
it's
just like,
true. What hey,
I'm
hey, hey,
just,
Phinsanity.
I'm just,
His
I'm
first year,
over
what did we
this.
hear? He don't have nobody to throw the ball to. He got
Did
the
he?
but
Did he?
now wait a minute.
Did
Now
he?
you brought
No, no,
in
no.
one of the
Answer the
fat.
question.
Hold
Did
on, wait
he?
a minute. Okay?
huh?
I'm gonna answer it. No, he didn't have nobody to throw
Thank
it to.
you.
But
Okay,
now
okay.
watch this.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, no, no, no. We're not about to just say he didn't have nobody. Let's
but
not
hold
lie
on, Miss
either.
Spence. I'm gonna agree to it to prove this other point that wasn't the
Oh,
reason
I'm about to say.
because
Who? No, no,
because
no.
you
Who?
went and got the fastest man, probably one of the most electric players in the game, to and paid him a bunch of money, and now people are turning on him. So like, man, who does this guy need? Jerry Rice in his prime, Michael. I mean, it's
Hey, Miss
it's
Did he
getting
Spence.
not lead? Wait,
ridiculous.
wait, wait, wait. Did he not lead the league in passing yards? Did he not lead his team to
I don't
11
care
wins?
nothing about that. That
Is that because
Are
of
we
him?
really about to, are we really about
I
to
don't
do
care
this?
nothing about
Are we
that.
about to do? You know what, Miss Fans? I think we said we were going to go 30 minutes. Are we doing a part one and part two? Like I need to
No,
know
no. It's
before.
up to you guys. I can go. I mean, I'm good in time. If y'all want to
Listen,
keep cooking, let's
I
keep
don't
cooking.
care nothing
listen.
about that,
Okay,
sis.
okay. So listen, Miss Finn, you said you wanted to push back on he had someone to throw to. Please enlighten me. Was it Matt Collins? Like,
First of all, okay, yeah,
mhm.
Matt Collin, I get it. He's not tier one. Some people would argue not even tier two. I get it. But
Great blocker
if
though.
if you really take a look at it, he had Waddle, he
Not
had
in his
Gesicki,
in his
he had
first year.
Devontae Parker
In his first year.
in his first year.
You talking about his first year starting?
He had Devontae Parker and he had Mike Gesicki.
talking about Devontae. Y'all
Yeah,
really
Mike
showing out.
Gesicki was a
Y'all really
terrible
want me.
blocker.
Y'all
He
really
was a
want me to
terrible
ether this.
blocker, but
Y'all really asking me to turn up right now.
well,
You're
what
Yeah,
not
turn
gonna
turn
up?
do
up
that.
I'm
then
about to
because
say
this
turn
is
up
Did
yeah.
y'all say
Insanity.
Devontae Parker, Mr. I can't stay on the field? Are you kidding me?
He was a first rounder. He was a first
Mister,
rounder.
my
A
foot is hurt.
thousand yards. He got a
My
thousand
foot
yards
is
in his
back is
career.
hurt every other game. Are you kidding me?
Well,
Are
listen,
you kidding me?
now we ain't doing that. We finally got one full year of health for Tua. Don't turn that corner now, because come on,
Listen,
don't bring up health now. Come on now. And
listen. What you talking
yeah, I
about?
mean, because that dude was, this is the first time he's been healthy ever since high school. So come on now, let's not talk about, use something else besides health, because
And still with one of the most coveted quarterbacks, probably the most coveted quarterback coming out of high school,
yeah, I hear
right?
you. But what, they ain't
You know
got
Right?
what?
nothing to do with what I'm
If
talking
Tua
about.
never got
No.
a hip
We
injury,
gonna talk about, huh?
if Tua would have never gotten a hip injury, I'm telling you right now, he would have been leaps and bounds ahead of what he is right now. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
we bought a broken product. That's what we
Ah,
bought.
I don't like the sound of that. Can we just say that we selected and I think we knew what we were going, like we were getting to when we got
But
them.
watch, look
We
at this
But you
safe
have to
selected
say
landing.
that they didn't
no
have
no no.
weapons.
We
Even
selected
in so
the
okay,
QB in the draft class with the most
help
upside.
me out here. Was it 2021 or 2022 that Waddle came in?
He came the next season
He
after
came right
21,
Tua.
after.
right?
Yeah.
So in 2020, we could agree it was really 50-50 between Fitzpatrick and Tua, right?
Can I
It
say
wasn't
something?
really.
Having Waddle was no different than just having Jarvis on the squad with a
But
bunch of
What
randoms
Phins
on.
are
let me,
you
Come
talking
on.
about? This
Uh-uh.
man broke the rookie reception in his
And who
rookie year, and you had
yeah.
Gesicki with over almost
Was
800
Jarvis
yards and how
not one of
many
the leading?
touchdowns?
Hold up, because Jarvis was out here catching balls too, and I think was leading too. We're not going to sit here and act like Jarvis was not that guy when he came into
No,
this
he
league.
was. He absolutely was. But you're proving our point then.
But there was no complete team around Tua.
let me
And my
ask
thing
you
is like this:
something, Sandy.
we have taken strides to get better.
Let me
We
ask
knew
you
what our
something.
roster was. Okay, so would you go back to any of the rosters that we had pre this one or pre last year? Would you? Because y'all making it sound so
In
great.
that
Would you go
same
back to it?
roster,
Would you
we
go
got
back to that
nine.
personnel? Would
Miss
you go
We
Fitz,
back to
got
let
those
me
ten
ask
weapons?
wins
her
and
this.
9
Would you
games.
go back to the weapons? Would you go back to the weapons?
Miss Fitz, can I'm gonna get her right here. This is why I love being a Dolphin fan for a long time.
I'm
How
right
did we
here.
get Tua? We had the tank for him. So what kind of roster was you expecting to have if you had the tank for him from the beginning?
First of all,
I
Mm?
mean,
there
You,
are
I mean,
allegations
you
that we did not actively tank.
well, of
Those
come
are
course
on
you
now.
didn't
Let's
allegations.
because
let
you
Those
were
are
let let's
fighting.
not sit here and
malicious.
lie. We too close to Sunday
Those
to be lying. What I'm
those
saying
are
to you,
malicious.
Insanity,
Okay, so why didn't we lose the Bengals game?
but
Oh,
this is what I'm
Oh,
saying to
okay.
you.
Like, why did we
This is what I'm
actively
saying to
try to
you.
win the Bengals game?
In
Why did
order
we?
to get him, this is what I'm saying about marketing and what.
That's what people said we were doing.
No, 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 no,
Flores
no,
was
no, no, no,
trying
no.
no,
to
no,
Because
no, no, no. The NFL said it too.
that's why
The
we were
NFL
under
we just
did
had
it too.
investigation
horrible.
for it.
We just had a horrible roster. Did you guys
But
forget that
why
we
did
had
we have
dumped
that horrible
everything?
roster?
We
What was the plan?
Flores came in and was trying to reboot it. That does not necessarily mean you were saying because he was actively trying to win games.
Right, he was. But
Now,
what was Ross and Greer giving him in order to construct those draft picks? That perfect reset
mhm,
that Greer got was a strategic plan. And this is why I
yeah,
say
and
the organization and what they're marketing. We all knew at a certain point during those years that we were going to take lesser talent to get as many first round picks. If you don't like the word tanking, I'll give you something else that means exactly the same thing. Anyway, we knew that we were cutting people, we were
mhm,
trading people that
mhm,
actually were names that were doing well, so we could form this method of, which I don't agree with, is to get as much money, cap space, as much picks and draft capital. So in order to have a reset, if that word makes is a little bit more politically correct for what actually happened. So you're trying to tell me, and like y'all say on Spaces, you gonna sit here and say that Tua should have came into more talent when the whole plan from day one was to get as much draft capital and much money so they could build around him once he was drafted, aka tanking.
Is that what you're going with?
It's true.
I mean,
Look
you
Is
at
that
can't
is that is
deny
that
it
what you're
and
though.
going with? Is that what you're going with?
look at what they did. Because I remember Kenny Stills was here. I remember
Mm-hmm.
every time I turned around, there was a player that name I recognized was getting traded, and somebody else was being brought in, and I didn't know who they were.
Listen,
Uh
did
huh.
the organization reset the roster? Absolutely, right? And you can say that, right? But how long did it take for them to bring this alleged talent around to us? Yeah, we had to use that draft capital to acquire the
two
likes of a Tyreek
years.
Hill. Right.
Two
So it
years.
wasn't done immediately. So once you got him, right? Once you got him, right? We had to trade back, right? We had to trade Laramie. We had to do a lot. And then we used those draft picks to acquire some veteran players on our squad, right? It's not as if we were like just out here just using these draft picks and drafting.
No,
A
I
lot
never
of
said how they were utilized. I was saying that how dare we sit here and form a narrative that Tua came into a crappy situation, right?
did he
But
not
in
come into a crappy
order,
situation?
but in order to get him and to position ourselves in the draft, right? There's certain things that happen to even get us in the position of getting a tour
Yeah.
that the organization did.
Hmm.
So we knew
Absolutely.
all along.
Brought
That's
in
why
Ryan
I think it's
Fitzpatrick.
a mute argument that anybody brings up what he had, because in order to acquire him, there were certain things you had to do. Whether you use tanking, reset, rebuild, whatever it was an action to take away the talent that was already on the team, trade down, move cap space to get what I call a perfect reset. You had, I want to say, about over 10 first rounders. You had at one point they had the most money in the NFL
Hmm.
for cash. So you don't do those two things if you have a lot of talent on your team currently. You're gonna have to have some lower tier players in order to achieve what was done.
Future contract players, all that. Yeah, absolutely,
We were
absolutely. And you
picking
know
up
what?
people from the gas
He was
station across the
he
street from the
was he was
stadium and working them out.
he was so paramount that an organization, in your words, said, you know what? We are going to do everything in our power to acquire him. Even if it makes our fan base mad, even if it looks embarrassing, we don't care. But I gotta get up out of here. My time. I thought we were supposed to go 30 minutes.
Yeah, but
Um,
you were cooking, so I didn't wanna
no,
stop y'all.
no. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, we got to do a part two. We have to do a part two. Maybe release this on the what's the name so it'll make people want to, get with rivers to hear these types of things and even enjoy these types of things. They cooked me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this on record. She cooked me, but but I will be back. I
No,
will be
no.
back.
Hey, remember Harlem Nights? Don't take this personal.
No, listen. Here's my thing. Right. Yes, the organization was trying to tank. To me, I side on the side of Flores of saying, you know what, the organization can do whatever they try to do. Um, but at the end of the day, the players got to play, and Flores got those players up week in and week out, and we were able to win some games and acquire the fifth overall pick. I feel like if it was a full on tank, we all knew how important that Bengals game was with acquiring the first overall pick, where we both stood record wise, and we won, and we tried to win. Whereas the Bengals you saw were trying to lose, and to me that was more of a tank than what we did. Ross and all those guys can say, but if you in the NFL, you got some talent, and that's why they say any given Sunday. And Flores went out there every given Sunday and tried to actively win, and that's why we have names like Nick Needham who are endearing to our franchise.
Yep.
And things like that, right? Some undrafted man who comes in here, works hard,
Free agent.
built his
Yep.
spot, built his spot on this roster. And I mean, we don't know what's going to be his future, but he definitely did give us great play, great moments, and stuff like that. But this was fun. This was absolutely fun.
I loved it, honestly.
Yeah, we got to
Good.
we got to talk about everything but the game. We went back to the tour and like back back to the
Yeah,
future.
well,
All
Miss,
that.
I gotta change my name every 3 seconds.
Hey, it's
After you
gonna be a
starting
part.
stuff,
It's
and
a
then you
part of
want to
it.
delay and take your sweet time instead of talking for real. There you go. That's what you got. So,
Sorry,
but ladies
everybody.
and gents, this is what you get. And back alley Phins, you got Nene. You got what's her name now? Back to the two. Oh,
Back to the tour.
you got five in the building. I've got four asking keys. So as far as this, it's Miss Fans. We're chilling. We're having fun. Thank you so much, guys. And check it out. We're definitely doing a part two because ain't no way we're not finishing this. But we're gonna need some time to do part two. So take care, guys, and fins up.